Let's get right in here. Hold on, man. Hello. How's everybody doing, man? We good? Hold on, man. Hold on. Hope. What is good, everybody? Man, it's your boy, Jay in the building. We is back again with another video. Look, man, it's raining outside, but the sun is shining in here, dog. Oh, man. Hold on. Now, first of all, I just want to say, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you guys share the video. Oh, we're finna get active today. We are here to get active today. We are here to ruffle some feathers. We're here to make somebody mad. We're here to make somebody upset. Because I know when it comes to lists, I know everybody gets upset. Everybody, no, we shouldn't be here. No, why is this team here? What are you talking about? You don't know what you're saying. It happens on every list. There's no list that's perfect. But what we try to do over here is we try to be fair. We are honest. And we always try and bring facts and opinions as to why I have this team on this list and why I don't, right? So before we get to my top 10 HBCU teams, period, I just want to put a disclaimer out there. This is all HBCU teams, not just Division I. I want to start there. It's all HBCU teams, not just Division I. So let's say, for instance, right now, let's say if I did had all Division I teams for my top 10, it'll go like this, right? I'll just give y'all my top, like my bottom 3 teams that I would have if I did have all Division I teams. I would have Morgan State at 10. I would have Grambling State at 9. And I would have Alcorn State at 8. Those would be my first 3 teams that I would name if I did all Division I teams, right? Unfortunately, I don't. And listen, Grand Fam, hold on. Grand Fam, look me in my eyes for a minute. I love y'all. I love and appreciate y'all so much. Y'all support me. Y'all made me an honorary member of the Grand Fam, and I appreciate that. I really do. The quarterback play was rough last year, man. It was rough. I picked y'all to win the West last year. You bamboozled me. You hoodwinked me, man. Now, that's not one of the reasons. That probably is one of the reasons why I don't have y'all on this top 10 list. But another reason, because some of the other teams in the West, I think they just done a little bit more. Just a little bit more. I think they have just a little bit more. I do have some new teams on this list that is gonna shock a lot of y'all. Y'all probably ain't gonna think about until just now. But we're gonna get right on to this list, man. Now, let's get right on to the list. At number 10, I have Alabama State. I have Alabama State at number 10. Why? Because D. Davis, for one. Now, granted, he was a freshman last year. You know, he was starting to get in the rhythm of, with the playbook. Because, mind you, he got to Alabama State late. Like, he got there late, so you can only assume that he got the playbook late. He got to know the receivers that he was throwing to late. So, look, now, they did show signs of how good they could be when they played against Howard. They showed signs. I think the problem that D. Davis had last year was that I think he dealt with a lot of injuries. There were a lot of games that he just didn't finish. That he didn't finish. And maybe it was injuries. But I just didn't understand why. I didn't. But mean, now I have a good understanding as to it now. But Alabama State is returning 3 out of the top 4 receivers from last year. Jeremiah Hickson transferred, so he's no longer there. But they still have 3 of their top 4 receivers there. Now, including some newcomers, especially at the tight end spot. I'm wondering how they're going to introduce these players to this offense. They have Jalen Lay, the former 4-star recruit tight end, transfer from Clemson. They also have Jace Medlock, transfer from UConn, another tight end. Now they also have another tight end who is a transfer from Troy. So they have plenty of tight ends on this roster that look good, but I'm wondering how they're going to use these tight ends. Because remember, unless you like Kyle Pitts or something, I don't really know, especially in college, because the tight end thing in college is they don't really use them. So I'm interested to see how Alabama State are going to use these guys. Now, as far as defense goes, Carlton Adams is a dog. He was first team all conference last year. Now, I think defensively they took a hit just a little bit because their secondary is going to look completely different. Well, somewhat different. Kenan Isaac is gone. Ashad Davis transferred, and Nathan Culpepper is gone. Now they still have Adrian Maddox, and they still have Mikey Victor. So they still have some quality guys in the secondary, but that's gonna be the area in where I see the most. So I'm interested to see what their defense look like. But in terms of offensively, they did lose 2 of their top running backs from last year. Now, I do think Juwan Howard is a more than a capable runner. Their running game is going to be fine. I think D. Davis can run the ball some as well. But if you want to keep him healthy, I suggest you keep him in the pocket. But I have Alabama State at number 10, and that's why. Number 9. At number 9, I have Fayetteville State. I have Fayetteville State at 9. Now, this team actually broke through finally after 5 years and won the CIAA championship game. They went 5 years in a row, lost 4 straight times, all 4 of them. Matter of fact, I think the first year that they went, I think they lost to I think it was Virginia State, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, but I think they lost to Virginia State the first year they went. Then the last 3 times, they lost to Bowie State. And then last year, they finally broke through and beat Sewan. So I have no reason as to why they listen. I think they're going back because I think they're that good, and the rest of the East Division in the CIAA, they just haven't caught up with them. They haven't there's nobody in the East Division that caught up with them. Winston-Salem State is not the same team they used to be. So they're out, they are completely out of it. I don't know what happened to Winston-Salem I don't know what happened to Winston-Salem. I don't know what year everything changed, but Winston-Salem State is not the same team they used to be. They are dog. Oh my goodness. Yo, even us, even Livingstone, even we beat them last year. We ain't done that in over 20-something years. That's how I know. I'm like, oh yeah, this was a Salem State team. They are bad. But Fayetteville State, defensively, they're really good. Starting with Cameron Morrell, Devin Cowell, and Anthony Banyard. The front four just by themselves, absolutely elite. Absolutely. They had all four of those guys had at least 10 and a half tackles for loss with 8 sacks. At least. Now, and one of them is a freshman. Now, they do have some guys in the secondary that are no longer there. One of them is Brandon Brown. He was absolutely elite. Now, offensively, they are not explosive. Now, I am wondering as to who's going to be their starting quarterback leading up to this year. I think more than likely it will probably be Damari Daniels. Probably so. But they have their leading rusher coming back. They had their leading receiver coming back. So I think offensively they're going to be fine. But I'm interested to see how that offense goes forward. But I have no problem with the defense. Their defense is really good. But I don't see why they don't go back to the CIAA championship game again this year for a 6th time in a row. But I have Fairwood State at number 9. At number 8, I have Southern. I have Southern at number 8, man. Here's why. Because I have respect for them. I assure respect. Now, they did lose a lot of pieces, a lot of valuable pieces, especially on defense. Trey Lang is gone. Taj Brown is gone. Jordan Lewis is gone. Cameron Peterson is gone. Jason Dumas is gone. Corian Harris is gone. And that's just on the defensive side of the ball. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of guys who were valuable last year that are no longer there, man. Now, they still have Jalen Campbell. They still have Givens on that D-line. They still have Jordan Carter. They still have some valuable pieces on that defense that is going to compete. Now, offensively is going to look very different. But let me just say this, man. Southern competes every year. They are competitive every single year, especially with the new pieces that they have coming, including the guys that was already in the SWAC. Got Gary Qualls, former first team all-conference running back from Alabama A&M. You have Jalen Howard, who was a wide receiver for Fairview A&M. You also have C.J. Russell, who was a running back for Grambling State. And you also have a guy on the defensive line, Davis, who is a transfer from Jackson State. So you have some guys coming, who is already in the SWAC that's heading to Southern, man. And there's a reason why. Man. Now, Southern has always been competitive. The quarterback spot is going to be interesting. I'm going to be interested to see who's going to be starting that quarterback. They have a quarterback transfer from University of Alabama, Birmingham, Dylan. Interested. They have a quarterback, Jalen Woods, who was one of the top quarterbacks in the state of Louisiana. It's going to be an interesting find who's going to be the starting quarterback, but I have no issues as them being competitive in the West Division, because the West Division is completely wide open. Anybody can take it. Hell, I think Fairview A&M, with the things that they did last year, the guys that they have coming in, listen, Fairview A&M is going to be good. So that West Division is completely wide open. But I don't have them repeating, because this next team, at number 7, the team that I have winning the West, at number 7. Hold on. Let me see if I put my blockers on. I'm put my hater blockers back on. Number 7, I have Texas Southern. I have Texas Southern at number 7, and I predict them to win the West, and here's why. Andrew Body. I think I think I think Andrew Body is on the path to being the greatest quarterback to coming out of Texas Southern. He's on path to be the greatest quarterback in Texas Southern football history. He has a chance to do something great. His freshman year, he broke the school record for the most for total offense per game. I think he was at 365. I think 369. I'm sorry. He's at 369 yards per game. He was fourth. I think he was fourth all time in the season with two. He threw for over 2,000 yards. His freshman year. Now, you can say last year he had a down year in terms of passing yards. I think he only threw for 1,600 yards last year, but he ran for another 400 or 500 yards. Now, here's the thing: they are the only team in the SWAC to have 100% of their offense coming back. They're the only team in the SWAC with that. So I think there's going to be an interesting thing, man. Now, another reason as to why, because Quadarius Davis. Listen, I think it was a travesty that Quadarius did not get a lot of time at Jackson State. I didn't understand it because this dude, dog, if you seen him in high school, you saw how dominant he was. Hell, I've seen some of his practice highlights at Jackson State, and he was doing them boys bad. So I'm like, fam, why is he not getting any playing time? Now, granted, listen, the guys that they had ahead of him, Dallas Daniels, Willie Gaines, they had some guys in front of him that were really good. So, listen, and their offense did good. Their offense was amazing. So now, Quadarius has a chance to be the number one target. He has he gives them an option. They give him a weapon that Texas Southern didn't have last year. So I believe in that offense. I believe that offense is gonna be really good. Now defensively though, they did take a slight hit. Isaiah Hamilton, their lockdown corner, is not there. Tariq Cooper, not there. Anderson is not there, but they have a lot of quality guys coming. Now, what they lost in Hamilton, they do have an Xavier Player who's a transfer from UTSA, which is the University of Texas San Antonio. They got Marquise Neal, who's a 3-star recruit from Houston. Giovanni Harper, who's a transfer from San Jose University. Those are all guys in the secondary that are going to compete. Now, I also want to see how Waltez Champ looks with this defense. I want to see where they put him. I want to see how he works against college competition. Because if you see how solid he looks like he's probably the strongest player or one of the strongest player in the SWAC already. So I'm interested to see how he looks in that aspect. But I think Andrew Body, for the next 2 years, I think this is his division to lose. Like I said before, man, he's on the path to being the greatest quarterback to ever come out of Texas Southern. They haven't had a winning season since 2010. I'm looking forward to seeing Texas Southern make some noise in the West Division, in a wide open West Division. So I got Texas Southern at number 7. Now, at number six, I had Benedict. I had Benedict College at number 6. Now, last year for Benedict, nobody saw them coming like how they came last year. Nobody saw it coming. They not only did they win the SIAC for the first time in school history, they went undefeated. And that was just a shock to everybody because with a team with Miles, with Fort Valley State, with Savannah State, Benedict just came out of nowhere and just shocked everybody. I said, damn. Now, the offense is going to look slightly different, only because the quarterback, Eric Phoenix, is not there. Now, this offense was very explosive last year. They scored over 35 points a game, gained almost 400 yards of total offense. I think they had 390, maybe 385, somewhere around there, around that ballpark. They returned two running backs, where combined they had over 1,000 yards with 17 touchdowns between the two guys. They have the offensive line, some guys on the offensive line coming back, have the leading receiver coming back. My issue with them only is who's going to be their starting quarterback. But defensively, though, I think defensively they're one of the best teams in Division II. Defensively, they have a guy in Luber, Denilis. I think that's how you say his name. Denilis. Had 21 and a half tackles for loss, with I think 13 sacks. I think he's predicted to win the SIAC Defensive Player of the Year. That this defense in general, their front seven they had over 45 sacks as a team last year. So this team can really get after the quarterback. I think Luber, not only did he have that, he had 3 forced fumbles with 4 fumble recoveries. And I think 9 quarterback hurries. I think he had 9 quarterback hurries. So yeah, this guy right here is absolutely elite. And I believe that he might be one of the players that NFL scouts are going to be looking at because he's that elite. But yeah, I believe that this team is going to go back to the SIAC championship game. They're predicted to win it, and rightfully so. Now, I wonder how Fort Valley State is going to feel about that. I wonder how Tuskegee is going to feel about that. But in terms of Benedict, I have no issues that they're going back because I believe that they're going back. Now, whether or not they go undefeated again is going to be a different story because football is football and anything happens in football. But I had Benedict at number 6. Number 5. Now we get to the top 5 here, and this is where things get a little spicy. Number 5. I have Howard University. At number 5, man. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. Howard frustrated me at times last year because they played bad versus Alabama State. Even though they beat Morehouse, they played bad in the first half. Like, it wasn't supposed to be as close as it was. And I feel like they play with their food a lot. But then they get to South Florida, and I think they probably played one of their best games of the year, even in a loss. Because I'm like, yo, y'all compete like that against South Florida, but then y'all come back down and y'all play Morehouse the way you did. I'm like, I didn't understand this team last year. I really didn't understand this team. But at the end of the day, they went 4-1 in the conference, same record as Central. They shared the conference championship, but let me say this. They got their ass kicked for Central. They have a chance to get them back. At home. They have a chance. Listen, Howard has a chance to be really good this year. Now, their out-of-conference schedule may not favor them as much, but I am going to see them when they play Harvard. I will see them when they play Harvard. Listen, Harvard is about like an hour away from me, so I'll be there for that. And I'm going when they play against North Carolina Central. I will be there. Now let's get to some of the players. Quentin Williams. This offense can be explosive when they want to. I like Quentin Williams at quarterback. The backfield in general is, dog, they have a chance to be absolutely elite in the backfield with Jared Hunter, with Eden James, with Ian Wheeler, and even Casey Hawthorne. They can use Casey in the backfield if they want to. You know, so this offense can really go as far as the running game goes. Defensively, though, I love Keenan Gallup. I think he might have been, from what I saw, he might be preseason All-American. I think third team, if I'm not mistaken. Now, they got some quality freshmen that are coming to Howard that could make impact right away. I'm forgetting names, so I can't really give y'all names at this moment. But they have a 4-star recruit and an offensive lineman coming from Martin Luther King High School. I'm going to get to him in a little bit. I forgot his name, but yeah, they have a 4-star recruit and an offensive lineman coming. So I'm interested to see how he looks. They also have another 3-star recruit in a linebacker who I think he had offers to Navy, Army, and a bunch of other Power 5 schools. But I believe Howard is going to be a better team this year than they were even last year. But I do believe that they are going to compete for that MEAC championship. That's going to be interesting to see. Them versus Central going to be one of the games in the year, and I'm not missing that game. I'm not missing that game. I'll be there for that. But I have Howard at number 5. At number 4, I have Virginia Union. Why? Jada Byers. Point blank in the story. I really ain't got to say nothing else. But if we want to keep going, we'll keep going. Jada Byers had over 2,000 yards of total offense by himself. 19 of those was rushing. 1,900 of those, of the over 2,000 yards of total offense, 19 of those were rushing. Yo, this dude is elite. He's one of the best players in Division II by far, bro. He's not just the best running back in Division II. He's one of the top 5, 10 players, period, in Division II. He's very elite. They don't necessarily throw him the ball because really don't have to, for real. I don't really care who's on the offensive line, for real. I don't care who's at quarterback. It don't matter. And their schedule, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not sugarcoating nothing. I think they have an easy schedule. The way it's set up, I think their schedule is absolutely easy. So much so that I think in the regular season, I think they can go undefeated. I believe so. Matter of fact, they're ranked number 4 preseason ranking. They're ranked number 14th in the country. number 14th in Division Two. So I'm not the only person that believes in Virginia Union. I think they're going to the CIAA championship game. I think they're going to win it. I think they're going to make some serious noise in Division Two football, period. Now, we'll see how far they go. We'll see what happens. But I have no, listen, now, hold on. Virginia Union on defense ain't no slouch either. I mean, I really don't have to get into details, but they have a strong front seven. But in terms of Virginia Union, if you can't stop Jada Byers, good night. Like, good night, Irene. Sayonara to you. But yeah, I have Jada Byers. Listen. And he won $10K for destroying. He won $10K. If y'all pay attention to Destroying's channel and what he does, he goes around the country and does these little these one-on-one competitions for 10,000. Jada Byers won that. So yeah. Watch out for Jada Byers. He that dude. But I have Virginia Union at number 4. Now we get to the good part. Now we get to the controversial part. Now we get to the feathers that might be ruffled. That might be, people might be upset. I hope not, because I'm at least putting respect in the top 3. We got the top 3 coming. And let me just say this, man. These top 3 teams are absolutely elite. Very, very elite. At number 3, I have Jackson State. Why? Because they're the 2-time defending SWAC champs. And wait a minute, hold on, before I get to that, let me take these hater blockers off, because let me say this. I at least have Jackson State in the top 3. Now, and I don't think that's disrespectful for me to have Jackson State at number 3, because some of these lists that I've seen, some people have Jackson State outside of the top 5. A lot of them have Jackson State outside of the top 10. I saw one list that had Jackson State number 16. They had him at number 16. I almost threw my phone. I almost threw myself over the balcony somewhere, because the nerve, fam. This is a preseason list. For anybody for y'all to have watched Jackson State the last 2 years, for y'all to just bypass what they done, look what they did in recruiting, and then have them at number 16 to start the year. Listen, that list, and it ain't even where you think they'll end up. It's to start the year. How the hell can you watch football, watch the SWAC, and have Jackson State anywhere outside the top 5, period, to start the year? Hell, at the freaking FCS have Jackson State starting in the top 25. They're one of the only 2 HBCU teams in the top 25 in the FCS to start the year. And for anybody that have Jackson State outside of the top 5 HBCU teams is absolutely ridiculous. And you need to throw your list in the trash. You need to throw your list in the garbage. That's crazy. But let me explain why I have Jackson State number 3. There's a lot of new parts to work with. They have a lot of new pieces. A lot. offensively, they're going to look very different. I don't know who the quarterback, the starter is going to be. Everybody is saying Jason Brown. They might be right. Or I'm not even sure if J.D. Martin's going to be the starting running back. I'm pretty sure he will be. He might be. J.C. Riley, best tight end in HBCU football, rightfully so. They have Jalen Hughes at corner. They have Wiggins at corner. Outside of that, who is the starters? That's my biggest concern. And listen, on this channel, right? I do a lot of this channel is recruitment based. So anybody that's going to an HBCU, and y'all tell me about it, whether I find it or not, I'm doing a video on them. We're watching their videos, and I'm analyzing what they're doing. So, for the most part, I know who's going to Jackson State. I know who's on the team. Like, I like Rico Powers. I like Seven McGee. They have some elite receivers at Jackson State. Their secondary is elite. So, I don't understand how anybody can have Jackson State outside the top 3. I don't understand it. But I do give them respect because they are the two-time conference champs. They haven't lost a SWAC game in over 2 years. So that may or may not change this year because the team I have ahead of them is FAMU. And there's many reasons why I have FAMU at number 2. But let me start here. I think in a world that we live in now where we have the NIL deals, where the transfer portal has been absolutely jumping in the last 4 to 5 years, it's damn near rare that you see the same team 2 years in a row. Because in most cases now, there's a different team every year. You may have the same that same quarterback going to 2 or 3 different teams because now they're trying to get the NIL money. They're getting that money, dog. These players is making millions of dollars before they even get to the league. And so in the times that we in where we have elite teams only being for one season or that same team being different, FAMU, this team stayed intact. Outside of the running back and Xavier Smith not being there anymore, they still have some firepower on offense. Starting with the foundation of it, the offense and defensive line. Their starting offensive line is coming back. Their entire offensive line is coming back. And listen, when I did their recruitment class, I was looking. What I noticed about them is that they only had probably 1 or 2 offensive linemen coming in, and I thought it was weird at first. I thought it was weird. But then people saw the video and they were inboxing me. They were commenting. They were saying, hey, yo, they already have over 20-something offensive linemen. And I was like, whoa, really? So I went back to their roster, looked back to last year's roster. I was skimming through their games, and I said, okay, makes complete sense. And I see that. When I see how good their offensive line was last year, and not only is that offensive line coming back, but there's a chance that the offensive line that they have already, hold on, man. Now I'm looking at this thing totally different. But in my mind, right there, that's when I already had FAMU ahead of Jackson State going into this season because the foundation is already set. right? That's one. Two, Jeremy Musa. Jeremy Musa. I'm not gonna say that he came out of nowhere because we saw him in the spring game last year, and they was already wowed by his accuracy in the spring game, and so for him to have the season that he had last year, I wasn't shocked. Now, granted, that entire offense was centered around Xavier Smith. They threw him the ball like 15 times a game, and they still couldn't stop him. He still had over 80 catches with 1,200 yards. I think he was probably top 10 in receiving yards and catches in the country. So now that he's gone, now they have the opportunity to spread that ball all the way around. They have a running back who's a transfer out of Nebraska. I think Jacquees Yank. Fam, you see how solid he look? Boy, that running back looks absolutely elite, man. But the receivers, you got Jamari Shear, Marquise Raleigh, the transfer from Bethune-Cookman, David Manigo. You have Jamari Gasket, the speedster from the University of Buffalo. You have Darian Oxenden. You have Kareem Berkey, and you have Robert Lockhart. I'm interested to see how Robert Lockhart looks with this offense. I'm really interested. Really interested. I didn't get to the defense yet. Isaiah Major. I predict Jeremy Musa. Jeremy Musa is my favorite to win SWAC Offensive Player of the Year, and Isaiah Major is my favorite to win SWAC Defensive Player of the Year. Fam, I knew from the moment I first saw his highlight video when he was at Independence that he was going to be a dog. I saw it. From the first time I laid eyes on him, I knew he was going to be a beast. And he was playing safety back at his JUCO. He was playing safety. So for him to transfer to FAMU and to play linebacker and to see how elite he's been since he's got there, it's really good to see. Now, defensively, their secondary is really good as well. They still have Lovey Jenkins. They have Morgan. They have Kendall Bowler, Eric Smith. That secondary is elite. I like it. My question: where the hell is Kamari Stevens? How come he's in the transfer portal for the second time in 4 months, 3 or 4 months? I don't get it. I don't know what's going on with that, but hopefully they get that squared away. And hold up, wasn't he on the list for him to be one of the guys for Media Day? So that's why I'm like, that's like kind of weird to me. But still in all, FAMU has an elite team this year. Now, whether or not they win the East Division, who knows? That's going to be interesting. Now, granted, they're not playing in the Orange Blossom Classic next year, because I think this year is going to be their final year. So, but I think that's all business based. I don't think because of Jackson. I know like everybody trying to be funny at they're getting tired of losing to Jackson State, but I think in all seriousness, I think it's all business based. But the Orange Blossom Classic is gonna be something to see. So I'm interested to see how that game works. But I got FAMU at number 2. And number 1, North Carolina Central. North Carolina Central. Bull City, what's up? Bull City, team that won the Celebration Bowl last year. Last year I had them at number 10 because I believed in Davarius Richards and Davius Richards. I'm sorry, I don't know where the hell that came from, but Davius Richards. I believed in them last year, and their team, they did better than I expected. I'm not gonna lie to you, they did better than I expected. I knew there was gonna be a good squad last year, but they were better than good. They went to the Celebration Bowl and got busy. Starting with the quarterback, man. They are a well balanced team offensively. Davius, he threw for over 2,500 yards. As a team, they rushed for over 2,500 yards. They got two of their running backs were all conference. Then Latrell was first team all conference as a running back. Davis Richards can also run the ball. I think he ran for like 600 yards. So that offensively they're stacked. And check this out. Now, not only is their starting tight end, I think he's no longer there. He was a senior last year. What they're getting back in Miles Campbell, who was a former 4-star recruit transfer from the University of Tennessee, I think that's interesting. Now, they are losing out on E.J. Hicks. I think, he's gone. But they still have a lot of their receivers from last year back. And that's not even getting to their defense. Now, defensively, they're returning Khalil Baker, who was the MEAC Defensive Player of the Year. He was also second team. He was first team All-American. Like, I don't know what got over him last year, but he locked it down last year. The majority of their starters on defense is coming back. All of them coming back. So I have no issues with Central being number one, man. And listen to this. Their schedule ain't light either. They got UCLA. They're playing Elon this year. They're playing Campbell again this year. Now check this out. UCLA. Hold on. UCLA. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to beat UCLA. I'm not saying that. What I am going to say is that, hey, yo, don't sleep. Because this team has a chance to make some noise in terms of the upset category. I'm not saying that they are going to beat them, but yeah, they there. I think they're preseason in the top 15 this year to start the year in the country. So I'm waiting to see how their season goes. But yeah, man, that's my list, man. Now check this out. Now, granted, it was not all Division I. One all Division I. Like I said, if I had an all Division I list, I already named my bottom three teams already. But yeah, Alabama stayed at 10, Fayetteville stayed at 9, Southern at 8, Texas Southern at 7, Benedict at 6, Howard at 5, Virginia Union, a.k.a. Jada Byers' team at 4, Jackson stayed at 3, FAMU at 2, and North Carolina Central at 1. Bull City, what's up? Man? But that's my list. Shout out to y'all if y'all made it this far, and I appreciate y'all, man.